Okay, good evening, everyone. How are you? Welcome to the premiere of Hush Puppies, a musical story written by Kevin McNally, with music and lyrics by Rob Johnson, and produced by Sensitive Robot. I am your host, Alexx Calise, and I am a frequent collaborator with Mr. Rob Johnson, who wrote the music and lyrics for this wonderful podcast musical. The show is an autobiographical story about Kevin's childhood that's told through narration and songs. So how are you guys doing tonight? Are you guys excited?
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
indeed.
we're very excited.
Showing our baby to everyone.
It's a beautiful baby, I will tell you that. I
Thank you.
really enjoyed it. Absolutely.
Thanks.
What I really love about this podcast musical, not only is it a completely different way of expressing musicals, it's taking it to the social media generation, but I love that it has some really, really great elements of 70s music like Todd Rundgren and Carole King. And then it just reminds me a lot of the songwriting of Tin Pan Alley. So let's get a little bit more into the actual podcast. So how did the project come about, Kevin?
Well, it's something that whenever I've told this story through the years, people have always said, wow, you should write a book or this could be a movie, that type of thing. So when Rob approached me about telling this story collaboratively through narration and song, I was all in.
Okay, oh, fabulous. And Rob, what about Kevin's story inspired the songs in the show?
Well, it's kind of funny how that all came about. Like Kevin told me his story, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago when we first started hanging out. And I was just sort of blown away by it. And I was writing songs for like a country band that I was the lead singer of. And out popped this song called Kevin's Mom, which I wasn't planning on writing a song about, my friend's mom, but it just happened. And then I played it for Kevin and he really liked it. And it's a very sad song. So that was kind of just the whole start of this thing in a way. And then, years went by and then we just decided to just go deep into the story and make it into like a kind of a full musical.
And how long did it actually take you to flesh out the music and lyrics for the musical?
Didn't take too long. I mean, after I, talked to Kevin about his childhood and really got all the sort of facts straight. I mean, yeah, most of the songs in the show kind of were written in like 2 or 3 weeks. It was just really inspired writing and, just kind of poured out of me. So,
hey guys, this might be a dress rehearsal because I'm getting texts from people saying, where is it? I can't see it.
Really?
I was just about to say the same thing. There's no link.
This page, reload page. Oh yeah, people aren't seeing this. Do you want to do a take 2? Evan, are you still there?
I'm still here. It says in the stream settings, it says change audience to public with no button or anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking everywhere for this thing.
That's I think that's my deal. Shit.
How do I? It's all grayed out. How do I change it to public?
Fuck. Oh shit, here we go. Here, that was my fucking fault.
Okay, should we redo it from the top, guys?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's.
Okay.
Are we live? It's
Still
live.
Live, yeah.
Hello, people. We're sorry. We had a little technical.
Is it
Are
working?
we live officially?
I think we're live. It says we are live.
Okay.
It doesn't show up on my screen like it did before. But
Can you see us? Can anybody see us?
Yes, is anybody out there?
Is anybody out there?
Oh, I think we're live. I see it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the premiere of Hush Puppies, a musical story. We apologize. We were having some technical difficulties. Imagine that. But we're here today to celebrate the premiere of a wonderful musical podcast. It was written by Kevin McNally with music and lyrics by Rob Johnson and produced by Sensitive Robot. I would like to welcome the writers and the people that made this possible today, Rob Johnson and Kevin McNally. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thanks, Alex.
Good.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you for having me. So just a little background about at least me and Rob. The reason I'm hosting today is because Rob and I are frequent collaborators in Sensitive Robot, and Rob is one of the most fantastic songwriters that I've ever met. I thoroughly enjoyed this musical from top to bottom, and I think you guys will too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great to see you again, Kevin.
Same here, Alex.
Are you guys excited about tonight?
Absolutely. Yeah, if anybody wants to send us either a text or a comment just to be sure that we got our technical thing worked out.
I'm seeing comments. I think we're live.
I think we're good this time. So we had a dress rehearsal before, but that's okay.
I think the battery in my keyboard just went dead. So
oh no. Well,
I gotta fix that while we're talking. Anyway, hi everybody.
Hi, we're gonna roll with the punches anyways. So
Yes.
just to let you guys know, everybody out there, this show is an autobiographical story about Kevin's childhood, and it's told through narration and songs. And Rob did a fantastic job of conceptualizing all of that stuff. So let's talk a little bit about how the Hush Puppies project came about. Kevin, we'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah. Through the years, this true life experience that I went through as a child with my siblings, anytime I've told the story to people, the usual response was, wow, you should write a book, or, man, this could be a movie, that type of thing. So when Rob approached me about telling the story collaboratively through narration and song, I was just all in.
All in, absolutely. So Rob, what about Kevin's story specifically inspired all of the songs in this show?
Well, once Kevin told me about his childhood, like roughly 10 years ago, I found myself just writing songs about his childhood for some bizarre reason. Before this project ever started, I was so moved by his childhood. And one popped out called Kevin's Mom, which is a very sad sort of ballad. And I wrote that, for a country band I was singing for at the time, and it just popped out. It wasn't planned. And then, we thought, well, let's flesh out this whole idea and make it into kind of a musical. And Kevin was on board, and here we are.
That's awesome. And how long did it actually take to flesh everything out and write all of the songs and the music for it?
Once I had a big, long interview with Kevin, and I recorded it. It was like 3 hours long. And once I got all the details of his childhood, I was pretty psyched to I sort of saw the whole story. And then all the songs just sort of, really wrote themselves really quick. It took like 2 or 3 weeks to write most of these songs.
That's pretty impressive because it's 36 minutes long?
Yeah, it was a lot of music. Took a lot longer to produce the music, but the writing of it was really fast,
Rob went into a trance, actually.
Yeah.
And when he came out, all this music was written. It was ridiculous.
I think I scared Kevin a little bit because I went, really intensely.
Was that weird, or was it like a, kind of a tricky experience writing a musical about someone so close to you?
It was a little strange at first. I think just playing him like the first couple of songs, I was like, awkward and nervous. But he really liked what I was doing. So after that, it got less weird. I am singing for I'm singing for the character of his mom in the show. So there's still some concepts that are a little bit, strange and awkward, but it all works. And at this point, I'm cool with it, and Kevin's cool with it, and it's good. It's art.
Right. Well, that was going to be my next question, Kevin. Do you feel like Rob did a good job of adapting your life story into a 36-minute musical?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I think Rob really, paid attention to the details in that interview. Plus, how long have we known each other now? Forever. And so Rob's heard some of the stories through the years, and he's a good storyteller. So and has a he's like, what is it? Elephants don't never forget. Well, neither does Rob. So so he took all of these little bits and pieces and really did a tremendous job at telling the story through sort of a chronological way that fits really well with the narration. So the music tells as much of the story as the narration does, for sure.
Right, right. And then, the story, it kind of talks about your journey through the foster care system. So can you tell us a little bit, without giving away too much information, because we'll kind of see the journey a bit in the actual musical, but can you tell us a little bit about, some of your experiences that you've had?
Oh, sure. Well, after the circumstances that unfold in the story, myself and my siblings ended up in foster care, various different foster homes. And that's a big part of the story, taking us from one place to another as things unfold. And yeah, you guys will hear all of that. And once we go to the premiere.
Right, because I didn't want to give away too much, but one
Right.
other question that I did have is the fact that it's based on a book, and where can we find this book of yours that kind of explains your entire life story?
Well, at this point, the book is another way of speaking about the narration that's happening in this project. But like I was saying before, people have said, "Wow, you should write a book." So who knows, a full non-fictional book might be in the works as well.
Well, it's a very, very uplifting story. As much as you've gone through the ringer, it seems. At times I was like, oh my gosh, poor Kevin. It's
Oh,
been a
man.
pretty rough go, especially in your earlier years. But it has. It's a very uplifting message at the end of the day. Is that what you guys were really trying to portray with this story?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I have to say that just going through the memories of all the various things that happened and sort of dusting off the cobwebs on these stories and the incidents that happened was kind of tough.
Sure.
But at the same time, it was kind of cathartic to be able to get this out, and the fact that in telling the story, it could very well help others that are going through something similar, in particular kids that are going through the foster care system. So if there's something that we can do by presenting this project to help, we truly want to do that.
Right.
But would this be a good time to mention the link?
Oh, absolutely. As far as the CASA.
Yeah, we've contacted an organization called CASA of VenturaCounty.org, who is currently having, if you go to their website, just click that CASA of OV Ventura, VENTURA county.org, and it'll bring you to a page where it talks about how you can donate to kids in need in the foster care system. And we hope that you'll do that and support kids in need in our local area.
Absolutely. That's so wonderful that you're bringing all of this to light. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think the information is embedded at the bottom of the little video we're going to play.
Oh,
And
okay.
speaking of the video, we have a video that goes with this, but it's really an audio production. The video is just kind of like a lyric video. It shows some lyrics and has some pictures of locations, but it's more of a listening experience. That's my only disclaimer.
Well, thank you guys so much. And I can't wait to watch this all over again, just to see it in action. And I can't wait for all of you guys to see it. So without further ado, we'd like to present.
Sounds really good with headphones or earbuds.
Right, absolutely. We'd like to present to you Hush Puppies, a musical story. And please make sure at the end of this to follow Sensitive Robot on social media. Thank you guys so much.
And we're following along too, by the way, just with your real-time comments, and we'll reply as you guys
please
say things.
Really appreciate you tuning in too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Alexx.
Thanks,
Thank
Alexx.
you. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Hush Puppies by Kevin McNally, with music and lyrics by Rob Johnson. Produced by Sensitive Robot. Narration performed by Toni Corliss. Life was good when my kids were little. We had 4 wonderful children, and as an Air Force family, we moved around a lot. Illinois, Texas, Florida, to name a few. And when my third-born child, Kevin, arrived, my husband was stationed in Duluth, Minnesota. It wasn't long after, when my last little one came along, that we moved to England. I kept myself busy at the Officers Club and tried to tell myself that everything would be okay between me and my husband. A number of years later, we moved to Valdosta, Georgia. By then, it was crystal clear that I would become a single parent. Working and taking care of 3 girls and a boy took its toll. But then, I met this man who would take us all to Phoenix, Arizona. He was a dreamer and an alcoholic. I did worry, as the kids got older, how they would get along, always being the new kid. But Kevin in particular seemed to be doing just fine. This is his story.
My name is Kevin, and I am 7. And if I die, I'm gonna go to heaven. I'm an Air Force brat, moving around from town to town. I'm the cool new kid on the block, at least once a year. And before things get stale and boring, I'm gone, I'm out of here. I'm gone, see you later, alligator. My name is Kevin, and I am 7. And if I die, I'm gonna go to heaven. My name is Kevin, and I am 7. My name is Kevin. I'm an Air Force brat, moving around from town to town, moving around from town to town, moving around from town to town.
The dream died quick after getting to Arizona. Nightly visits to the bar brought my unemployed husband home drunk and abusive. And even with my full-time work, bankruptcy wasn't far behind. But I couldn't even imagine the bomb that was about to drop. Cigarette packs started showing a note from the Surgeon General. Caution, cigarette smoking may be hazardous to your health. And my cough wasn't going away. There were commercials on TV telling me I had come a long way, baby. There were dancing Doral packs and glamour and cancer. I had lung cancer. The doctors didn't think I was going to live, but then a radical surgery gave me a new lease on life. I still needed chemo and radiation therapy, but they said this could extend my life, at least a little. Even though it meant I would lose my hair and bloat up from the medication, I could still be there for my kids between bouts of nausea and trips to the hospital. The kids were too young to fully understand the gravity of my situation. Why does Mom have to go to the hospital? Again. I was glad to see that school and friends were still in the picture. So when Kevin was invited to go to the annual Arizona State Fair by a friend, along with their mom and dad, the Carsons, I was delighted, and also anxious for him to come home safe and sound. I waited up. He walked in. I wanted to be sure I could say, I love you.
Good night, sleep tight. Everything is gonna be alright. Sweet dreams, moonbeams. Life is never ever what it seems. So I'll see you in the morning and we'll greet the brand new day. So cast away your worries, everything is gonna be okay. Good night, sleep tight, sleep tight. Everything is gonna be alright. Sweet dreams, moonbeams. Life is never ever what it seems. So I'll see you in the morning and we'll greet the brand new day. So cast away your worries, everything is gonna be okay. Okay. Good night, sleep tight, sleep tight. Everything is gonna be alright. Sweet dreams, moonbeams. Life is never ever what it seems. Pleasant dreams until the morning when a new light fills the sky. But how was I to know that this would be our last goodbye? Our last goodbye. Our last goodbye. Our last goodbye. How was I to know that this would be our last goodbye? Good night.
I suddenly felt so very tired, and I couldn't stop thinking, what if I'm not here? Would I be their guardian angel from the other side? It was as if my brain was interrogating me under a big, bright spotlight. Who's going to wait up for them when they come home late? Who's going to pack their lunch and get them off to school? Who will clean their clothes? Who will say, I love you, and comfort them if they have a nightmare? Who is going to take care of your kids? I felt myself drifting into my very own nightmare. Who will keep them safe in this world?
Have I got everything in order? Are the children gonna be alright? Will they have the basic things that they need to survive if their mama doesn't make it through the night? I don't know if I'm ready to go. Praying that my precious little time don't dry up. I got a lot of loose ends to tie up. I need some time, just a little more time. Maybe someone will come to the rescue. Will the neighbors lend a helping hand? Will my man put down the booze, be the father they need?
Morning came, and so did the ambulance. The kids were off to school. I was unresponsive. The gurney left big scratch marks on the hallway wall. The house was empty. Kevin came home first. He saw the scratch marks. He yelled, "Mom, anybody home? Mom, Mom?"
Kevin's mom died when he was 11. She packed his lunch and then went off to heaven. He never got the chance to say goodbye before she walked away into the sky. Kevin's mom, well, I never knew her, but I sure can see the scars she left behind. Now Kevin's mom will be forever starring in the dreams in Kevin's mind.
When I was married to Captain Robert, we always liked living off base. But I never imagined my kids living in the deepest part of the Panamanian jungle, in a shack with no running water, an outhouse and chicken wire to cover up holes called windows. That's exactly what happened when I died and my kids were returned to their biological father. The worst part was, after he was contacted by ham radio and released from his duties as a fighter pilot in Vietnam, he took my kids to live with Nikki and her kids. She was his new Panamanian-born wife, who had 3 boys and a girl from her previous marriage to another Air Force guy. She clearly liked a man in uniform. And she was glad I was dead, and said I was in hell where I belonged. I could only imagine how she would treat my kids. Also, would Captain Robert suffer from PTSD? It was exactly what I was afraid of. My children were mistreated, abandoned, and abused. I felt like I was in hell. And now, so were my kids. Why did I have to go so soon? With unconditional love, even this could have been a home, at least until the dream house was built. But it was not to be. Shortly after taking my kids in, Captain Robert and Nikki slithered out early morning before my kids were awake. The note said the family, quote, was going on a summer vacation and everyone would be back in a week, end quote. My kids were left behind. Alone, excluded, and scared. Oh, they got a vacation as well. It was called Camp Abandonment. No electricity, rotting food, and jungle-sized bugs snuffing out the only light they had from a candle.
Kevin's dad tried a big overstatement, 'cause he never really knew what raising kids meant. He couldn't fill that void so deep and wide, and not being home became his place to hide. Kevin's mom, well, I never knew her, but I sure can see the scars she left behind. Now Kevin's mom will be forever, starring in the dreams in Kevin's mind.
By now, my divine motherly intervention was getting stronger. This time, Captain Robert and Nikki had to return to the U.S. for a funeral. With school back in session, they had no way to get my kids from the deepest bowels of the jungle to Chirera. From here, the graffiti-covered Diablo Rojo bus that didn't go beyond this outlier town would pick them up to take them another hour and a half down a rickety 2-lane road, the rest of the way. It was settled. They would stay with the older, married sister of a friend in the American Canal Zone near school. That's what happened next. These friends got curious and asked, "Where exactly do you live? How far out in the jungle did you say? Well, do you at least have running water?" That's when the dam burst, and all the details my precious children felt ashamed of and thought was their fault came spilling out of their mouths. Captain Robert didn't get his wish. If only I could hush these little puppies up, everything would be all right. One drive out into the thickets of the jungle was all it took for Good Samaritans, Rosie and Ron, to tell my kid's dad,
You're not getting them back. You're not getting them back. No! We know what's been going down. The truth is out. Your lie never stood a chance against the fact, and you're not getting them back. We see what's been going on. The child neglect. My door's staying locked to stop you in your tracks, 'cause you're not getting them back. Your children will be safe with me until we contact the authorities. We're gonna do what's right and do what's just. We're gonna do it now and do it we must. You won't ever change our minds. It's a waste of time. So lawyer up, buddy, 'cause you're under attack, and you're not getting them back. But they don't understand. I've got plans for a mansion on the hill, with years that go on forever. We'll live happily ever after if you stop all this madness and unlock this door. You're not getting them back. getting them back.
Rosie and Ron had a cool, high-fidelity sound system with quadraphonic sound and amazing headphones. Back when vinyl was king. Kevin was truly in heaven. But as fate and the laws of the land should have it, a licensed foster home and family counseling were deemed appropriate. It was during this time that the kids got word of my mom's death, their granny. Heartbroken, they were allowed to go to Chicago for her funeral, only after Captain Robert was counseled. Even still, they would have to drum up the cost of the flights on their own. There was a local policewoman who was aware of the situation. Sometimes good Samaritans really do step up at just the right time.
Faye Diamond, a good Samaritan, she said, don't come back to Panama, you're an American, and that's where you belong. That's where you belong. I dedicate this song to her, the catalyst for action. She got us on that road that led us home. Faye Diamond, humanitarian, she found us the money for tickets to fly to a safer place. A place so safe and warm, a shelter from the storm. She was a kind and selfless stranger. She got us on that road that led us home. And it's so nice to know there are people like you in the world. Generous people who give, expecting nothing in return. Samaritan, she said, don't come back to Panama, you're an American, and that's where you belong. That's where you belong. I dedicate this song to her, the catalyst for action. She got us on that road that led us home. She got us on that road that led us home.
Big things seem to happen quickly. Like when we first landed on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This is how it felt once my kids got to Chicago. This huge buildup that would quickly lead to my children being emancipated from their horrible situation and their biological father. But nothing worth having is ever that simple. It takes a village, as they say, and so much preparation and courage to go to court and literally face judgment and tell their story. The hope of freedom from pain, abuse, and suffering, their only sustenance.
I was standing inside your shadow, but you couldn't take the time to see. Were you blind or just oblivious to my pain? Every moment we make our choices, but you always chose so selfishly. Now your karma is coming down on you, but I can't cry. No, I can't cry, 'cause I'm better off without you. The smoke is clear, now it's clear to me and the truth you hid so carefully. But the outside world was peering in through the cracks, and the people who tried to save us were all turned away like refugees. Now the wounds impart their wisdom, but have you learned? But have you learned that I'm better off without you? The smoke is clear, now it's clear to me that I'm better off without you. You're so small, and I'm so free. I'm so free. Yeah, I'm so free. I'm so free.
My dad, their Gramps, struggled with the children's care. Living in a one-bedroom apartment in Chicago, having suffered the loss of me, his only daughter, and then his wife, my mom, just slightly over a year later. Screw cancer. Distant relatives stepped in, only to be discovered as double agents, secretly tasked with getting my kids back to Captain Robert. Separating the kids was inevitable. Multiple teenagers accepted into one foster home was impossible. Kevin's friends, the Carson family, had stayed in touch, but it seemed that little could be done to grant their wish of bringing him back to Phoenix to live with them. While my daughters briefly stayed together, Kevin found himself in a utopian suburban setting with the Coleman family, in a 3-story home in one of the most affluent areas of Chicago, Kenilworth.
I lived here, I lived there, I lived just about everywhere, but nowhere is home. I lived big, I lived small, but it just didn't matter at all, 'cause nowhere is home. And if I travel all around the world to 1,000 different places, how will I reminisce about the place that I miss, the one true place that my heart embraces? I lived up, I lived down, in the city and all over town, but nowhere is home. I lived east, I lived west, from the worst right up to the best, but nowhere is home. And if I travel all around the world to 1,000 different places, how will I reminisce about the place that I miss, the one true place that my heart embraces? I lived here, I lived there, I lived just about everywhere, but nowhere is home. But nowhere is home. But nowhere is home.
Even though life was good, Kevin had a yearning to return to a place his heart called home, where he lived before I died. And with a little nudge from his guardian angel, the stars and desires finally aligned. The tug was strong, and the Carsons had not forgotten him, or their desire to have a sibling for Kevin's school friend, their son. With the help of another Good Samaritan, a social worker named Lorraine, and the court agreeing to relinquish their hold on Kevin as a ward of the state of Illinois, he was granted his wish. Kevin was given permission to return home to Phoenix and become a member of the Carson family. This provided the stability Kevin needed, a sigh of relief for me, and a jumping-off point for him to return to a life of normalcy before graduating high school, armed with the knowledge of what he did not want his life to turn out to be.
Kevin grew up and became a father. They had 2 kids and raised them in her honor. He always did his best to raise them right, and his mother's love would be the guiding light. Kevin's mom, well, I never knew her, but I sure can see the scars she left behind. Now Kevin's mom will live forever, passed on to each child right down the line. My name is Kevin.
This has been a production of Hush Puppies by Kevin McNally, with music and lyrics by Rob Johnson. Produced by Sensitive Robot. Narration performed by Toni Corliss. Production copyright by Way Contagious Tunes, LLC. All rights reserved.